Welcome back. So I'm finally redoing the Q&A video. So I created this look today with the recently de-influenced from Bella Beauty Bar while I answered some of your guys' questions. There are some really juicy questions in here and some really juicy answers. So if you guys want to get to know me or, see what I create with this palette and maybe even hear my thoughts on it, then just keep watching. If this is your first time here, hi, my name is Heather. I love all things makeup, especially colorful makeup and indie brands. And if you guys love those things too, I really hope you will subscribe and don't forget to click the little bell so you can be notified of all my future uploads. So if you guys aren't familiar with the palette, I just wanted to tell you a little bit about it. So this released last year during Halloween alongside the Basic Witch, and I did not pick this one up. I only got the Basic Witch, but now that I have both of them, I think this one is my new favorite. It is so freaking good. I'm pretty sure I did swatches and close-ups. Hopefully I have not deleted them yet since, I had the mishap with this video, but I think this palette is so gorgeous. If you guys are interested in it or anything from Bella Beauty Bar, I will have it linked down below along with my affiliate code AOML. And if you use it, I really do appreciate it. But let me go ahead and get you guys zoomed in and let's get into answering these questions and showing you how I created this look. I'm excited that I finally get to refilm this Q&A video, and I guess that's the positive side to USPS having my packages for over a week in my actual town and not delivering them, is I can get caught up on some of these other videos. And if you're new here, basically I already filmed this video and something happened to my audio where it was like loud feedback, so I have to refilm it. And I also did like a matte version of my favorite shades and my favorite palettes and lost the last 45 minutes of footage from that video as well due to the same issue. I'm really hoping I hear something back from this company soon because that sucks. It really does. And it's kind of put me behind, but I'm so ready to be playing with this palette again. I love it so much. It's become one of my favorite palettes of the year, and I'm pretty sure it's going to rank really high when I do my ranking for the full year. But I'm going to go ahead and get my concealer blended out because it's creasing already, and we're gonna get started on this look. I'm not gonna go into detail like about what I'm using and stuff because I do want to answer your guys' questions, and the ones that I don't get to in this video I will bring back out for the Q&A that me and Amanda do with the giveaway. So if I don't answer your question, don't be sad. I will get to it, I promise. So to start out this look, let me think. I want to recreate one that I've done, and you guys seem to really like it. So let me try to remember exactly what I used. Okay, so I'm going to start out. I'll tell you what I'm using. I think I'm going to go into paid partnership, feud, monetize, and I'll tell you more about the shimmers once we get to that point. But I'm just going to start out with paid partnership. So the first question, I want to do something a little lighthearted because there are some really good like deep questions in here as well that I'm excited to get to, and that's another reason why I wanted to wait to refilm it, because I wanted it to feel new again, I guess, in a sense. But the first question is, what do you do for fun outside of YouTube? So I'm a homebody through and through. I always have been, but when I'm at home, my favorite thing to do is to read. I love reading so much. And like I go through these like spurts where I'll read for months and I won't watch TV at all. And then I'll like get back into TV and just basically rewatch the same shows that I've watched 100 times all over again. And that's like my favorite thing to do. But outside of reading, I like writing. I recently, well, in the last few years, discovered that I'm decent at drawing. And I say decent because it's, I think, pretty good for somebody who's never taken any type of classes or anything like that. And it was something I discovered on accident. So I really like that as well. But it's hard for me to stay like focused on that, which is why I don't like delve deeper into doing it. It's just, it doesn't hold my excitement the same way that makeup does. Makeup is my favorite thing, even outside of YouTube. I love it so much. Another thing I like is like listening to music, and I really like going to little street fairs and stuff like that. We have a lot of them here where we live, and that's one of my all-time favorite things to do. We also go to a lot of concerts, like older music, like older hip hop. We just went to see Young Jock, which Amanda was so excited, and Exhibit and Bubba Sparks was supposed to be there, and they ended up not showing up, which is really messed up. But we've seen like went to a lot of cover bands and stuff like that. Another thing, window shopping. Amanda says it's her own personal hell to have to go somewhere and not buy anything. But for me, I love window shopping. I could do it all day long. Go and just look at everything in the store and not buy a single thing and be so freaking happy about it. But those are some of my favorite things to do. If you could live anywhere, where would that be and why? So I've always wanted to live like out in the forest in like Washington or something like that. I love the vibes, but I also really like being close to be able to do my window shopping. I've lived in a small town far from like stores and stuff, and honestly, that's just so not my vibe. I hated it so bad. I don't, small towns are almost never, at least in my experience, the cute little vibes that you see on TV. It's not like that in real life. But so I would like to live like in a forest, where in a cabin. You know, like if you watch like the ASMR things on YouTube that's supposed to like help you sleep, and you just see like these big gorgeous cabins with these big windows and the fireplace. Oh, that's what I want. Those chill vibes. I don't care where it's at. I just want to have those vibes. Someone asked, is YouTube your full-time job? I'm fairly new to your channel. Can you tell us more about yourself for those of us who aren't longtime viewers? So YouTube is my full-time job. I'm very fortunate in the fact that I do not have to work like another job. I honestly don't know how people do it, because I work almost every single day of the week, and I work very long hours trying to keep up with videos and new releases and stuff. And don't get me wrong, it's really fun, but it is very, very time consuming at the same time. So like, I don't know how other people are able to do that, or be parents and do YouTube. There's no way that I don't think I would be able to. But I am lucky enough to where I don't have to work a full-time job. I have started making some money from my codes and stuff, so that really does help. But Amanda's income allows us to not have to, and she basically, when she was in her 20s, she married her best friend, who was in an accident when he was younger on the railroad. He was working on the railroad underage, and I think it was kind of like under the table or something. I don't really know like all of the specifics, but he was in an accident and he lost one of his legs and his arms. But anyways, they got married when they were really young. Like it's one of those best friends marry each other kind of thing. And they had a really good friendship, but unfortunately, he was living in a different state and he was found unalived, and something like happened to him. It's terrible. It's kind of hard to talk about on YouTube because I'll get demonetized for certain words, but unfortunately, like, he also still had like that big settlement, and Amanda's income comes from that, which also allows me to be able to do this full time without having to work as well, which, I mean, it's kind of like of a bittersweet thing, because I mean, of course, she would rather him be here, and for her sake, I mean, I never got to meet him, but he sounded like an incredible person, and I wish I would have. I'm so sorry, I just realized my fan was still on, but I wish I would have had the opportunity to meet him because he sounded incredible. But he did, like, the things he's done for Amanda have been incredible, and it's kind of had a domino effect on all the lives that it's changed, not just hers, but to the people attached to her as well. Someone else said, at what point do you feel your success on YouTube? And I really, really love this question, because if it's like, I don't know, it depends on your definition of success. But for me, I already feel it. I know, like, to some, they would be like, well, I have a small following on YouTube, so some wouldn't consider that success. But for me, that's not the case. I feel it all the time. Like, when I read your comments, the friendships that I've made some really good friendships from being on here. So I feel that as an success as well. I've already begun to get like build friendships with throughout the brands that I really love and that I've been buying from for a very long time. So I've already begun to meet people that way, and I've already gotten on PR lists. So it's like with every subscriber, every friendship, every video, just seeing my community grow, to me, that is success. And seeing other people in my comments comment on other people's comments, and to me, that is the meaning of success, and it makes me really happy, and I'm just I'm glad to be here. I already feel successful though. But I think if you look at it from a business perspective only, I don't know, honestly. The thing, like, I don't want to be so caught up in the numbers and like trying to be bigger and better that I don't get to live in my excitement for now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get to enjoy all these little milestones and just being a part of my community. If that makes sense. So to me, honestly, I already feel the success. But let me ask you, if you already have a channel or if you have thought about it, what at what point would you feel success? Okay, someone else said, do you have time to watch YouTube, and what YouTube channels do you watch? So I make time to watch certain people, like Betty Jean. She is one of my favorites. I forgot I wanted to do both eyes, so I'm gonna get this other side caught up. But I always watch her videos. I don't ever miss one. She's one of my favorite people. I feel so inspired by her. Um, If you don't watch her, I highly recommend, but I think she's so incredibly talented. But I am into a lot of the same things that she's into, like reading and, her traveling and just stuff like that. I just think she's a very fun person. So I never miss her videos. I usually watch her video every day that she's uploaded, like first thing I do in the morning. It's like my news, my wake up. So other people I watch, and you guys have probably heard me mention, I like to watch Angelica Nikovic. She's one of the first people I started watching on YouTube that did colorful makeup. I think she is the first, and I've never looked back. I think she's incredibly talented, and I love her channel as well. She comes up with really fun like color combos. I think I have hair on my face. But let's see who else. So there's a few people I watch. We have completely different makeup styles. One being Jessica Braun and the other one being Samantha March. We have completely different like makeup styles, like I said. But as for Jessica Braun, she is like so wholesome. I love her family. I just, I don't know, even though we don't like similar makeup, I still trust her opinion. And when it comes to like face products, drugstore products, and stuff like that, we also have very similar taste in those areas, like in like skin types and stuff. So I do like her for that. But more than anything, if I'm having a bad day or I just need something positive, she's such a good channel to watch because she is just wholesome. That's the best way to describe her. And even Amanda like watches them. I love them for Vlogmas when they do like their vlogs for every day of December. It's so fun. And Samantha March is just such an inspiring person, even though we have different tastes in makeup as well, like completely different. She's just such an inspiring person. Her journey with separating from her husband and then traveling as far as she did, all on her own, was so inspiring to me. And I ended up doing something very similar um, just a few months after her. And, she's someone I thought about often when going through that situation that I was going through. But I did it with no money, no car, no nothing. Like, I completely started over. I had absolutely nothing. But she is the person that inspired me and made me feel like I could do it. She was a big part in that. And I have a lot of love and respect for her as a person and as a businesswoman. She's very inspiring, which, makes perfect sense that her brand name is Start Inspired because she truly is inspiring to me. Who else do I watch Jen Love's reviews sometimes. Sometimes not. I just don't like the drama aspect of YouTube. It's not for me. I don't watch drama anything. It gives me anxiety and it just puts me in a negative mind space. So I do stay away from stuff like that, but I like her. I think she's very informative. I've learned so much from her, not just about makeup, but YouTube in general. I feel like she's really helped prepare me for being on YouTube myself and the back business side of it. So I really like her as well. There's a few other people that I watch a lot of stuff from too, but those are just some people that I really don't miss an upload from. The hardest part about makeup is getting the other eye to match the other eye. Okay, pick 3 indie brands you would like to collab with and why. This is really hard. This is a hard question because there's a lot of brands that I really, really love. And there's a lot of new brands that I've discovered this year and that I'm beginning to love. So it's a hard question. So the first two that popped to my mind are Unearthly Cosmetics and Bella Beauty Bar. I love both of them so much. I love their formulas and just the overall vibes of the brand. So for Bella Beauty Bar, I don't know who owns that brand, nor have I ever spoken to them at all. But I just really love their formula, like I said, and the overall vibes, like the theming and stuff of the brand. But for Unearthly Cosmetics, Unearthly was one of the first like real small indie brands that I ever tried, and that brand is the reason I've fallen in love with trying all of the other brands. I love Amanda's Eye for theming, color combos, and just everything. I think she is so amazing. But I've also spoken to her a few times, like in DMs and stuff, and she's very kind, and she's been a pleasure to get to know, and I just like a lot about her. I like her love for all things spooky and Halloween, and I just think she's incredibly talented. I would love to work with Unearthly. That'd be like a freaking dream come true. Another one is a recent love that I've discovered this year, and that's Gourmand Girls. Same thing that I said about Unearthly. The owner of Gourmand Girls is so freaking sweet and so positive and uplifting. And not only that, but I love Gourmand Girls. I've been falling so in love with their color stories and stuff. And I think that I could really, together, we could come up with something really fun and creative and different, and maybe even something that she's not done before, which I think would be a blast. Answer the same question down below. Let me know who you would collab with and why. Okay, let's find another one. What's your favorite memory so far on your channel? And what's the biggest lesson you learned from being a content creator on YouTube? Uh, Man, I have a lot of favorite memories, to be honest. I think like one of my favorite is been when I got PR from Unearthly. I freaking cried. I was so excited. But another one though is the moment I realized that I had something to add to the community, because for a long time that's why I hesitated. This one is kind of jacked up. I kind of hesitated for a long time. Well, I did hesitate about like creating my channel and stuff, because I honestly just didn't think I had anything to add. There's so many talented people in this space, and I think when the first time I allowed myself to be like more vulnerable about my past and, my struggles with addiction and domestic abuse and things like that, and the comments that I received, just the way that you guys responded to that video made me feel like I was wrong. For First of all, it's not just about the ability to create. I'm just going over this with my concealer brush to try to fix this a little bit. It's not just about my ability to create, which you guys have really made me see that in a whole new light as well, but it's also about, helping each other get through things in life. And, I don't know, there's like a lot that plays into that favorite moment in memory, but that is one of the biggest things, was realizing that, it's not just about the makeup, but we could also help each other heal, which is amazing. I'm trying to look in my viewfinder to see how much I screwed this up. And one of the biggest lessons I think I've learned from being on YouTube was that I don't think I ever felt proud of myself before. And it makes sense. I mean, considering, the life that I've lived and some of the things, the way I chose to make some decisions in my life. I've never, I didn't graduate. That's one of my biggest regrets. I dropped out of school after the 10th grade, but it's not as, I didn't just drop out. Things happened that led to that decision, but I never went back to school. Like I said, I am an addict. I've been sober for almost 3 years. And while I am proud of that, I, and I'm not saying this is true, I'm just saying this is the way my mind thinks about it for myself. When it comes to other people being sober, I'm always proud of them. And because I know how hard it is to stay that way. And if you're not an addict, it might not seem, you might think like, well, why wouldn't you just, if you know what it's going to do, then why would you do that? But it's not that cut and dry. It's not that easy. But I feel like if I hadn't of become an addict, then I wouldn't have to feel proud of that. And I know that's not, and I please God, don't anyone think that I mean that about you, because I don't, which is hypocritical, but it's just the way my mind works. I've never done anything to really make myself feel proud, because I've always made my whole life about who I'm with and what they want. And it's not even necessarily the people that made me that way. It was my way of, I wanted to make people love themselves and see themselves in a way that I couldn't see myself. And to me, I never realized that I had this bad habit of always putting myself in the back. And unfortunately, some of the people that I aligned myself with never tried to help me pull myself to the front. So it was just a toxic situation. And being here on YouTube and just feeling the sense of pride that I have when you guys say the things you say, or seeing my numbers go up. And there's a sense of validation when brands reach out to you and things like that. I realize now that that's something I never had before, because I never put that much time into myself or what I wanted. And I hate that it was like that and that I allowed that in my life, but at the same time, I am grateful that it happened the way it did, because I feel like, for one, it made me a better person. I have I'm able to empathize with people and certain situations. And I also am a firm believer that everything happens for a reason. Things happen when they're meant to happen and not a moment sooner. I know not everyone believes that way, but I strongly do. So, I've learned a lot. There's a lot of lessons that have happened that were kind of a read between the lines situation, if that makes sense. Okay, someone else said, do you have friends and family that follow you and watch your channel? If so, do they think your love for makeup is weird? I don't know why, but I always feel embarrassed to talk about makeup to mine. I used to be that way as well, because I always felt, and I still do this with some people, I feel the need to explain why I like things or do things a certain way. And that's something that I'm working really hard on changing. I want to go in with the shade screenshot. It's so freaking good. But I'm working on changing that about myself, because you shouldn't have to explain why you like something. But I do have some people that do follow and watch my channel. There's a lot of people from Amanda's family and a lot of friends that we have in common. Plus, let's think. I do have some people in my family as well. Like, my mom does watch some of my videos. My Aunt Lois watches some. And I have some cousins that watch as well. And for the most part, I do feel like they are really supportive of it. There's some I think that don't really like understand why I spend so much money on makeup, because I'm not gonna lie, I do spend more money than I should sometimes, and I have a lot of guilt over it, which maybe I should, but you know, sometimes I do spend more than I should, but I love it. I can't help it. Like, I'm addicted to makeup now. But anyways, you know, for the most part, they're supportive. And I think them knowing, like, especially my family, of where I've been, where I've come from, and who I was before YouTube, and even before YouTube, the last few years, my life has changed a lot. And I've worked really hard to be in the mindset that I'm in now and do the things that I'm doing now. And I think for them, it makes them happy and proud. Like my aunt and her daughter, my cousin, who's more like a sister, even said today, like, it makes them cry when they see, like, where I'm at in my life now, because I'm sober and I'm in a healthy, positive relationship. There's no type of abuse at all. And I've never been happy before. Like, I always felt like there was, I felt like I would always be a victim of some things that I felt as a child. I always felt like I would always be a victim of my life, like the things that happened to me before I could control anything that happened to me. And then, you know, just surrounding myself by narcissistic people and always being a victim in that aspect. I always thought I would be this sad, small little girl, and I never knew how to be anything but that. And it's like, at some point everything just changed. I think it's because my mindset changed. And when my relationship before Amanda, I'm going in with this shade right here, Viral. It's one of my favorites. And in case I didn't tell you, I did this one before that. But my relationship before Amanda didn't start out bad, and it wasn't for a long time. And I really thought it was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I think at the time it was, but we both struggled with addiction. And I fought the idea that two addicts can't be together for a very long time. Like, we were together for almost 10 years, and I just didn't want that to be true. But in my case, it is true. It's like, it's it's just too hard for one of you to always be strong enough to say no. And I fell short on that more than once. And I don't know, like, I don't even know where I was going with that, but I think them just seeing me, like, go from that girl, that little person, to the person who I always stood in the background. I never liked attention, you know, like when people sing you happy birthday and you just want to crawl in a ball and die because you're so embarrassed. That was me always with everything. And I'm not like, I still hate when people sing me happy birthday. Like, I appreciate it, but please don't. Like, but I've never been happy. I've never been happy with myself. And not only am I happy with myself right now, but I'm also happy with the direction my life is going. I'm doing something to build a life for myself, a career, doing something that I love, with surrounded by people who have been nothing but kind to me and brought so much positivity in my life. And I'm sharing this life with someone that I love that loves me back and in a healthy way. So I think for them, that's what they see. And they're just happy that I'm happy and that I'm sober. And I am too. Like, sometimes I get scared because I'm like waiting for the other shoe to drop, like waiting for all hell to break loose and everything to fall apart. Because once you've like lived life and you've been so down like that, it's really hard when you do get happy. You don't want to lose it. You know what I mean? I really like this question. Somebody said, "What was the spark that started what was the spark that started your makeup journey and made you fall in love with makeup?" Mine was a back injury that kept me at home for a long time. Listen, there are so many people subscribed to my channel that are suffering from back injuries and back problems. Like, it's so sad, and I hate that you guys are going through that because chronic pain is no freaking joke. And there's a lot of people that I've watched suffer with it in my life and like in my family. Plus, I've suffered with chronic pain before I had the dental surgery and stuff. But it would be awesome if you guys could like talk to each other and maybe you would like have more support is what I'm trying to say. But for me, it was depression. I liked makeup, but not nowhere near like I like it now. I liked wearing it, but I didn't like the art side of it. And I was dealing with depression. I was like highly depressed for almost 5 years. All I did was stay in bed and read all the time. And one day I came across, I almost positive it was a Kelly Strack video where she was talking. I think it was like a Dollar Tree haul. And then I watched like a PR haul she did. And I remember how freaking fascinated I was. And then I just fell down that rabbit hole. It was like in 2015 or 16. I can't remember exactly, but I have fallen and so in love since then. Like, I started, I think it was like 2016, 17. I started trying to do like, I'm using this liner. I'll have everything linked down below. But I started trying to do different, I'm going to look down. I started trying to do makeup looks, and it was a complete fail for a long time. But I had so much time on my hands because I do not have children or anything, but I had so much time on my hands. All I did was like, I would do my makeup like 3 times a day just to wash off my eyeshadow and do it again. It was so fun for me. And eventually I just did it so much that I became better at it. And dare I say, you guys make me feel like I'm actually good at it. So thank you for that. But that's how I fell in love. And that leads me to this question. Someone asked, I'll have to look for it. What do I remember what the first high-end product was that I bought? Okay, do you remember your first high-end product you bought? Mine was a Lancome eyeshadow quad, all because of one shimmer shade, and that was the beginning of my eyeshadow obsession. I've actually never tried a high-end eyeshadow ever. I'm too entrapped with indie brands. And like I was telling a friend of mine, it's probably a blessing I've not tried a lot of high-end stuff like face products because I already can't afford all these indie brand eyeshadow palettes. So I'm just saving myself more heartache and trouble later. But I do remember the first high-end product I bought, and it was because of Samantha March. It was the Dior Backstage Powder. Oh, what's it called? I have one. Hold on. It is the Dior Backstage Face and Body Powder No Powder. This. And when I bought this, I also bought that same like foundation from that line. I freaking love that foundation so much. I've not had it in a while. When me and my ex broke up, she stole all of my, well, when I left, I took all of my makeup. I just was in a hurry and I forgot my foundations and blushes, and she sold them all. Yeah. Fun fact. I also had just bought the Odin's Eye collab that came out with this palette, the Giant Wolves, and luckily my mom went over there to get some of my stuff and she saw this palette and she grabbed it, but the other two that were in that were stolen, and I get so freaking mad every time I think about it, even still. But, you know, it is what it is. I never even got to open them, though, and it sucks. Every time I watch someone's declutter and those palettes are in there, I get so mad. But I don't really like talking about that because I don't, in case anyone watches my videos, I don't want them to know they get me mad. So I probably shouldn't even leave this in here, but we'll see if I do or not. Anyways, what are you guys thinking about this look? I think it turned out really fun. And it's a little different than what I did because I added this shade Screenshot, which I think is really cool. And I recently picked up The Strange and Unusual, and I cannot freaking wait to get it in. Someone said, what is your family like? Dad, mom, siblings? Are they supportive of your lifestyle and of YouTube? So, my father, my parents divorced when I was, they separated when I was 9, but, I didn't have a very good relationship with my dad. He was very in and out. I saw him every 3 to 4 years, but unfortunately, he passed away in 2013, which was very, very hard to go through. But um my stepdad and I were very close. He we had a rocky relationship at times, but we were really close. He taught me so much, like how to work on cars, how to do electrical, plumbing. Like the list is beyond, like, so much. But one of the things that he taught me that I think it will stay with me forever is how to be independent, and if you need the answer to a question, to search for it. And that is one of the greatest things I've learned in my whole life is how to, you know, always try to solve a problem on my own before I ask for help, which, I mean, you can go too far the other way as well, but I am so grateful for him for that. And unfortunately, he passed away in on Valentine's Day, not this last year, but the year prior. And I didn't start my channel until April after he passed. And I think that him passing might be a big reason why I started, because I was like, I need to stop waiting. And I wish so much that he could be here to see me do something for myself now. I think he was worried because I didn't graduate and you got to have work credits to retire, which I have worked a lot of jobs and since I was really young, but he just was worried. I mean, he's a dad and, you know, my struggle with addiction, but I think he would be really proud. And my stepdad didn't really agree with my lifestyle, but he never threw it up in my face or anything. We discussed it one time, and his, you know, only came from a place of concern based on his upbringing and religious aspects, but he was never rude or disrespectful, or and I was never to him either. So it was never an issue between us. My mom watches some of my videos, and I think to some extent, I do think she is proud of me. Like, I could tell it, I can tell that it means a lot to her to see me like doing better and stuff. But I also don't think she really understands my love for makeup and like why I love YouTube and why I love doing it so much. But I still think she's proud of me. And as for my relationship, hell no. She does not. Not at all. But it's hard because I do think she loves Amanda. And it's not, it doesn't have anything to do with her. In her eyes, my mom is worried for my soul and, you know, just all that jazz. So I try not to put it in her face. I don't even like post a lot on social media because I don't want to offend her. And I try to be very respectable of how she feels, respectful of how she feels, and I don't want to make her sad. You know, I know she believes what she believes with her whole heart, and it makes me sad that she is worried for me, and it makes me feel guilty. But at the same time, you know, I'm trying to be happy, and I am. So, you know, it is what it is. But my brothers, I have a younger brother who just turned 24 on the 28th of August. And I have an older brother who just turned, how old am I? Am I 36? Yes. So he's 37. He just turned 37 in July. Me and my older brother are not that far apart at all, like a little over a year, like a week or two over a year. And we grew up very, very close together. And he is one of my favorite people in the world. He was my first best friend. We fought a little, like, you know, typical siblings do, but not really. Not to be brother and sister. I still feel very protective of him, very close to him, and I love him very, very much. And my relationship with my younger brother, I love him very much too, but it's the dynamic is it feels different. I feel protective of him in a different way, like almost like he's my child and I want to guide him and help him, which I've not done a very good job of. I can admit that, but it's different. Like I was 12 years old when he was born, so I remember everything about him being little, and I loved everything about having a younger, like a baby sibling at that age. It was so fun, and it's also scary because I see him making mistakes that I made, and I desperately have this need to save him from the trauma that I have to live with. But he just, like any other adult human in this world, you have to learn on your own. And the best way to grow up and learn is by doing and screwing up. And it's scary. I can't imagine how terrifying it would be a parent and have to give up control like that, which is why I'm so respectful of my mom and her feelings, because I can only understand that how hard that is to an extent. And I've learned that through having a younger sibling that is a lot younger than me. And it's rough because you want to protect them, but you cannot. But he is respectful and excited for me. Well, he's gay as well. But I think he's happy for me with my YouTube career because he lived with me during said breakup, and unfortunately, he was affected by it as well. And I have a lot of guilt over that because not only was there the breakup, but I also relapsed. and it kind of did a domino effect, and he unfortunately witnessed me at one of my worst times, and I have a lot of regret and shame because of that. But you know, all I could try to do is be better and make up for it now. But this is the look. You guys are going to have to let me know what you think. This is a look with just mascara. I have crappy lashes, but I'm going to go real quick and put on some fake lashes, and I will be right back to close out this video. I am back with the finished look. I just used some Ardell Naked Lashes. It's the 420 ones. It adds a little bit, but you really can't tell that you have on fake lashes, which that really doesn't matter to me. But if you guys are interested, I'll have them linked down below. But you guys will have to let me know what you think of this video, if you would like for me to do some more. I know it's a little random. Some things are still like more difficult to talk about, only because I don't really want to make white waves in my life. But you guys asked some really good questions. There's still a bunch of really good ones that I haven't even answered, but I'm going to use them for my video with Amanda, and we can ask both of us. So I think that will be really fun. But if you guys want to answer any of these questions, leave your responses down below. I would love to hear them. Let me know what you think of this video. And if you are still unsure about my thoughts of the recently Deinfluenced, I am smitten by this palette. I love it. I love this look. I've loved every single look that I've created with it. I think it is beautiful. It is my, dare I say, new favorite from the brand. So real excited to get in the strange and unusual. But thank you guys so much for participating in this video. It really does mean a lot to me. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up. It really does help me out. And until next time, bye.